So as said earlier, in this second video we will be discussing about the plot of the play, the plot structure. And as far as this particular play is concerned, The Merchant of Venice, it has two main plots. There are two main plots and two subplots which are interwoven together by Shakespeare, and it creates a marvelous comedy which is quite distinct from the other comedies. Now let us try to understand that what are the two main plots of the play. The first main plot of the play is the Bond plot, and this Bond story involves or revolves around two main characters, that is Shylock and Antonio. Now when we do the play, you will get to know about Shylock and Antonio in a better way, but still for your understanding let me tell you, Antonio is a wealthy and a noble merchant of Venice. So he has many merchandise, all his ships have gone abroad for sailing, and so far none of the ships have returned. And Antonio had promised one of his friends, Bassanio, to help him by lending him 3,000 ducats, and for that he depends upon Shylock. Shylock is a wealthy Jewish money lender of Venice, and since Shylock was a Jew, Antonio was a Christian, so there existed the Jewish-Christian antagonism between the two. So they had religious hostilities against each other, and Shylock, being a Jew, he was alienated, separated, humiliated in a Christian-dominated society. So therefore he always wanted to take revenge against Antonio. Now when Antonio approaches Shylock for a loan of 3,000 ducats, he gets an opportunity to take his revenge, and therefore makes Antonio enter with him into a single bond. That is, if Antonio is unable to repay the loan within the stipulated time period of 3 months, then Shylock will be entitled to cut a pound of flesh of Antonio somewhere close to his heart. So therefore his intention was to kill Antonio if he failed to return the money within the stipulated period of time. So this is what the Bond story is concerned with. Whereas there is another main plot, and the other main plot is the Casket Plot. That is, the story in this particular plot revolves around the lottery of casket. Now you see, every romantic comedy must have a beautiful and a wise heroine, and in this play also we have one such heroine, and her name is Portia. Now Portia is a rich heiress of Belmont. So at the time when her father died, her father left behind him a will. According to the will, Portia was to get married with a man who succeeded in making a right choice of the casket as devised by her father. So therefore Bassanio also was in love with Portia. He had earlier visited Belmont, and in his earlier visits he had received fair unspoken messages from the eyes of Portia. So therefore he was sure that if he is able to present himself as a worthy suitor to Portia, then he may have the chances of winning in the lottery of casket and thereby getting married with Portia. But to present him as a wealthy suitor, he was in need of money, that is 3,000 ducats. So therefore, for which he relied upon his friend Antonio. So therefore, in order to win Portia by taking part in the casket choice, Bassanio was in need of those 3,000 ducats. And you will see in this casket plot there are many other suitors also who come to Belmont to take part in the lottery of casket, but they consequently fail, and it is ultimately Bassanio who wins in the lottery of casket. So this is the casket plot, and both these two main plots, that is the Bond plot and the casket plot, are interrelated with each other. You see, the Bond plot is the plot where a need of money is felt, and Antonio borrows the money from Shylock on the surety that he would be able to repay the loan within the stipulated time period of 3 months. And for whom did he borrow the money? He borrowed the money so that Bassanio could present himself as a worthy suitor to Portia in Belmont. So therefore both these plots are interconnected. Other than these two main plots, there are two subplots in the play as well. One subplot is the love affair of Lorenzo and Jessica. Lorenzo is a Christian and Jessica is the only daughter of Shylock. And since there was Jewish-Christian antagonism prevalent during those days, so Shylock would have never given his consent for the marriage of Lorenzo and Jessica. So ultimately, their love affair reaches the climax when they elope with each other. They run away with each other and get united in the bond of marriage. And another subplot is the love affair between Nerissa and Graciano. Graciano is a friend of Bassanio who accompanies Bassanio to Belmont when he presented himself as a worthy suitor. And Nerissa is the special maid of Portia. So when Bassanio was trying his luck in the lottery of Casket, at the same time Graciano falls in love with Nerissa. So that is another subplot, and ultimately there is the ring episode as well. Now these are the different plots that runs throughout the play. So in the next video we'll be discussing the setting of the play, which is romantic as well as realistic.